Her smile shines as bright as the stars at night. Her heart is as kind as can be. She has the patience of a saint, but if you push her, oh Lordy. A straight talker is Smiley. She's the salt of the earth. Make no mistake, she matters. Catch Smiley's story on a live stream. Oh boy, that girl can matter. Go Smiley. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Missing posters and stories of heartache and fear. She tells us all of the heartbreaking tears. She can sniff out the guilty from a mile away. If Smiley's on the case, then she's here to stay. She cares about these missing children. She cares deeply about them all. She speaks the truth with integrity. For the truth, she will seek it all. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Smiley's questions are like a heat-seeking missile. She's going straight for the bullseye. Don't ever believe you can fool her. She's too wise, man, she won't comply. She values freedom like the 4th of July. She values respect even more. If you want to earn a place at Smiley's table, watch the clock, it takes time for sure. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you break her trust, you're done for. Trust don't grow back like grass. So don't give Smiley a reason to doubt you, or that friendship will shatter like glass. She's a damn good woman, that much we know. She puts in the hours to bring them kids home. If your child is missing, you are Smiley on the case. She is always willing and she gives so much grace. She's a Smiley, alright. She's a Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you're guilty, you better feel fear.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I see H. Davis was the first one, lucky number 1. Hello, H. Davis. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, honeys. Hello, Annabella. Thank you for being here. And Millie, thank you. I know you're doing your cooking and everything today. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, Deanna. Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Raymond Thomas, good morning. Okay, thank you, Raymond. Thank you. Holly, good morning to you. Listening in the bushes. Thank you. I appreciate you being here, all of you. I know everybody is getting ready for Thanksgiving tomorrow. So just come on in. If you're cooking, go ahead and cook and do your thing. Just come on in. I've got my turkey in the oven actually right now as we speak. Thanksgiving is officially here. It's here, honey. It is. I told you it was going to come, sneak right up on you. And I don't know about y'all, but this is the 1 or 2 days that the house smells so good. All this cooking, but it makes you hungry. You just can't quite eat it just yet. Some of y'all are already chopping up those onions and you're crying. So I hate to chop onions. I do. You're looking at the kitchen like I got to get it done because tomorrow will be here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Did anybody else wake up today thinking about that pie? Or was that just me? You know, fat girls love cake and pies and sweets and candy and cakes and cookies. I don't know. But seriously, I hope everybody has a wonderful day, a wonderful Thanksgiving. Deanna said she's cooking and cleaning and listening. Yeah, it seems like you always got to clean behind and before and after and during. It never stops. It never stops. Wow. But it does smell good. I know anybody coming in or going out is going to smell food. Even my dogs are acting crazy. They want to know what is going on, honey. It's that time of year they get the special stuff. They get treated like humans. Oh, Lord. It's something else. But today we are going to talk about after the arrest of Israel Keys. We've been going over Israel Keys, and we're going to talk about after the arrest. We have some interesting things here. Good morning. Hello. Thank you for being here. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Be a Ladybug. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. And Lisa B. Always, good morning. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Everybody, make sure you remember to hit those thumbs up. That is free. All of that is free. Thank you for being here. And then tomorrow can just be a lazy day after all the cooking and eating and all the things. It can. It can. But yeah, y'all come on in, grab your snacks, grab everything. We're going to listen to a few videos today. We're going to talk. We're going to go over after the arrest and what happened after Israel Keys was arrested. He was arrested, as y'all know, in 2012, and investigators, they tracked down anyone who had interacted with him regularly. They wanted to speak with him, anybody that talked to him on a regular basis, and at any level, right? So they tracked them down, especially people around his daughter. His daughter is protected. But I found out some deets. Nope, I can firmly say nope. Her biological mother has never given an interview. So confusion, I guess, is out there. But Smiley is no more confused. Okay? Smiley's been doing her research, and I can see where the confusion's coming in, and we will talk about it. But they wanted to talk to people that especially he was around or his daughter was around, who knew him, who knew all the things. Of course, they were going to track his whereabouts and all of that, right? They were going to do all that. They were hell-bent on that. And it was very strange after all the things he did, and he did not have no remorse. He did want his daughter protected. Why? He's just a psychopath. He was a psychopath. Of course, he took the coward's way out. We know he took his own life, but I guess that's because he was a psychopath, which shows, in my opinion, that fact. That's just my opinion. But two of the most important interviews to ever come from this, I believe, and I picked today, was from his daughter's teacher and from the occasional babysitter. They had hands-on with him. They had hands-on with the lady that was thought as and looked at, and she looked at herself as his child's mother. And they had interactions with them all, and they'll go back. But these interviews were part of the FBI's behavioral investigation, and they told law enforcement what they needed to know. So we're going to watch them. We're going to watch them. Feel free to comment. Thank you all for being here and listening with me. And we're going to start, I think we're going to start with the teacher. So let's go ahead and do that. Give me just a minute here.
This is Officer Henniger on tape at the Anchorage Police Department. It is the 16th of March, 2012. The time by my watch is approximately 10:09 hours. It's Friday, and I'm here with date of birth. This is reference case number 12-5307. Okay. Now, this is a
Thank you for being here,
reference
honey.
Mr. Keys and his daughter, obviously. And how do you know them?
The daughter lives in my class at Turnigan Elementary School.
Okay, and so you're a teacher at Turnigan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How long have you been working at Turnigan?
This is my third year there.
Third year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you you're a fourth grade teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Were you fourth grade last year, or did you move up? Or
Last year I had a 2-3 combo, so she was in my third grade
So
class.
she was in your class
and I
last
moved
year,
up
too?
with her. Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. Okay. Very good then. So you've known for a couple of years now.
Yes.
Okay. And also Mr. Keys.
Yes.
Okay. Last year, the 2-3 combo. I mean, did you have any conferences with Mr. Keys? Obviously.
Yeah, we meet with parents once in the fall and then again in the spring to do parent-teacher conferences. And then, we email when there's upcoming events and try to be in touch with parents,
Okay.
as regularly as possible.
Was he pretty punctual, and did he make all the conferences last year? I mean, was there anything odd
Yes.
going on?
No, he made the conferences last year. I believe both, didn't have to reschedule or cancel or anything, so.
Okay. Anything strike you as odd last year, or anything
No.
about his behavior seemed pretty typical, normal?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this year, how much contact have you had with Mr. Keys?
Well, I met with him in the fall for parent-teacher conferences, and then we just had our spring conferences. They were scheduled for the week of February 15th and 16th, and he had been out of town the week before from February 2nd to the 14th. So I scheduled his conference. He was my last conference on Thursday, February 16th, at 4:20, because I knew that they would have been getting back from their trip, and he didn't show up, which was kind of unusual considering that the prior conferences were no problem. And so I figured that they had just gotten back or something came up, and I didn't hear from him. So the following week I went ahead and called him on February 23rd.
Thank you. I like them too.
Because I had another couple parents that didn't show up, so we usually do a follow-up to reschedule or just do a phone conference. And I spoke with him in the morning to kind of verify a time that would work later in the day, because I didn't plan on catching him and talking with him right then. And I don't have the exact time of our call, but I have kind of a couple windows. I spoke with him before 1 o'clock that day and did kind of a mini parent conference. Probably only 10 minutes because his daughter, I have no concerns about academically. And so I spoke with him on that day. And then shortly after, his daughter qualified for our GATE program at Turnagain. And so part of that is parents have to come sign that their child can participate. And so that was the following week, the week of February 27th, that our GATE teacher contacted him.
Thank you, Raymond.
And said, you
Thank
need
you
to
so
come in and sign
much.
this paperwork so that she
Y'all
can
thank
participate in
Raymond
the
for
program.
giving membership.
And so we scheduled for him to come on Tuesday, February 28th after school.
And he said he would come in?
Yeah, he said he would come in, and then he didn't show up. And what happened was, because the GATE teacher was a little uncomfortable with, meeting with one parent. I mean, we usually try to
Do it in
because
pairs.
well, and especially because it's a portable that's kind of like secluded from the school. So she had said, well, he probably won't even be able to find it. So I said, well, why don't you just, I'll tell him to come to my room because he's been here before.
Yeah.
And so, she came by my room and we were waiting for him and he didn't come.
And what time on the 28th was it?
After school, like we had talked about 3:40, 3:45, because school ends at 3:30. And it was just a matter of, letting him know about the program and having him sign. It wasn't really a big deal, since I had already done the conference and everything with him. So then he didn't show up, and then on Wednesday, February 29th, I was at the front of the school kind of directing traffic, and I got a phone call from the office that he was on the line, and I think I had called and left him a message earlier that day saying, if you want to come by today, that's fine as well. So he called the school back and had said, is it okay if I come today, but I'm running late? And so instead of like 3:40, 3:45, I think it was after 4 he came and signed the paperwork, and we just met, he and I and the GATE teacher for, like 10 minutes or so.
All right. What was his demeanor during that meeting?
Typical.
Typical.
Yeah, I mean, he's nothing like out of the ordinary. Just the fact that, he hadn't shown up was a little unlike him.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, and that he was late, but he had said he was driving in from, I think, like Eagle River or something. So he was on the road, but he was going to be late, so he wanted to make sure that we were still going to be there.
So he said he was coming from Eagle River?
Yeah, like out of Anchorage area. I don't know if Wasilla or just something like that.
All right. Let's go back to the 16th. When you scheduled his conference at 4:20, what day did you speak with him on the phone?
Well, when we schedule conferences, we just kind of assign them a time.
Send out an email.
Well, we do like little flyers that go home. And so he had previously emailed me on January 30th telling me that he was going to be out of town. And so he gave me the dates February 2nd to the 14th. And so I figured I would schedule him, later in the week. He was actually my last conference. And then I had emailed him while they were gone on February 3rd, because, she wasn't there to get the flyer to go home, obviously. And so sitting on her desk, and so I just emailed him and said, by the way, this is the time her conference has been scheduled, just so you know when you get back. And he said he would be there. And then I emailed him back and confirmed and said, okay, I got your email, so I'll see you on Thursday at 4:20.
Those are the actual copies?
Yeah.
Would it be okay to get a copy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why I brought it. And then these are all my notes, so you can kind of...
And safely with their grandparents.
Okay.
Our detectives have actually talked to her.
Okay, great.
the interviews that we're doing for those coming in, they were part of the law enforcement's, and they went back and checked with people that he knew and was part of the investigation. And the teacher, she described him as very polite, reserved though, but very quiet and extremely protective of his daughter. She never suspected anything of him. Never. She had zero reasons to ever suspect. His daughter seemed real well-rounded. And he always showed up to the meetings, except this one time he didn't. She just thought he was traveling.
Okay. All right. Now, any of these times that he arrived at the school, did you see him arrive? What vehicle he was driving?
No.
No? Okay. Does the elementary school have cameras?
Yes.
Do you know how long they record?
I think they're, if I'm not mistaken, 24 hours, because in the school office, I don't know that they record actually, but I know in the school office there's, we have a TV that's constantly changing from camera to camera just to see, there's...
But you don't know how long they save the recordings?
No.
Okay. All right. Now, what was the last day that she was at school for the second? Was she there?
Let's see. I don't believe she was there on the 2nd of February. I think he emailed me, and he just took the emails, but he emailed me on 2/1, February 1st, Wednesday at like 1 a.m., at 1:08 a.m., saying that they were leaving. He put tomorrow night, which was basically Wednesday night. And then...
So he emailed you at what time?
It's on the email. I think it's like 1:08 a.m. because I remember I looked at it and was like, I got to school and I had this email that I didn't have the day before. And then they must, from my understanding, they left that night. And then she wasn't at school on February 2nd.
Okay.
And then she didn't return to school. The email had said they would return the February 14th, a Tuesday, and she didn't come to school on the 15th or the 16th, which is why when he didn't come to the conference, I was like, well, she wasn't at school today, so maybe they stayed an extra day or two, or just are tired, or whatever.
Okay. Was she back on the 17th?
We did not have school on the 17th.
I'll
but
bring up my calendar.
But she was back on the 21st.
Can I see that?
Yeah. We didn't have school on the 20th either.
Had you forwarded these emails to anybody, or?
So he texted the teacher, or he sent an email to the teacher, and he stated to her sometime in the middle of the morning after 1 a.m., which she thought was kind of odd, that they were, leaving, going out of town, and his daughter was not going to be in school, and that she didn't come to school February 2nd. That email was on February 1st. This was back in 2012. But he told them that she would be back on the 14th or 15th. And she did not return then. So at that time, the teacher just thought, well, they're tired from their trip. Hey, it happens. Good morning, Cinderella. Thank you for being here. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody coming in. And Gypsy, hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. So I think, in my opinion, he was just starting to slip himself. And he did these odd things. But that's just my opinion.
No.
No. Okay. All right. Hey, Seth. Hang on. Let me find it.
The 108.
Yeah, the 108 one.
It might be on the next page.
7:47 a.m. February 5th, February 3rd. Maybe this is going back.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah,
tried
here
to
you
put
go.
them in order. Oh no, that was an email to my school office letting them know I did a. Oh, this might be it. Right there, March 5th.
March
One-
5th at
yeah.
1:08.
Yeah, I'm looking
Oh yeah, so I'm getting my dates
Oh, okay,
mixed
so
up.
it wasn't
That's for the
February
most
1st.
recent trip. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Which that was also kind of unusual because she, in the past year and a half that I've had her, she hasn't missed this much school. I mean, she was gone for 2 weeks in February, and then, she left the week before spring break, and I didn't even have a return date for her. He said they'd probably be back sometime after spring break.
Okay. I'm sorry, he was walking in the door.
Thank you so
What date
much.
did she return after this?
Welcome.
Well, she wasn't at school on the 16th. We had no school on the 17th or 20th.
Yeah, that's Saturday. Okay,
And then she came back on the 21st.
go back to. Okay, yeah, 17th was in service.
Yeah, and the 20th. Or, well, the 20th was the President's holiday.
Okay, so she was back on the 21st.
Yes.
Have you ever seen him driving a vehicle?
No.
No. All right. All right. So she came back on the 21st, and how long was she in school before she left again?
She was at school for. Let's see, he emailed me that they would be gone. Now I'm confused. She was at school on March 5th, but then she was gone on the 6th. So she
I
was
love
at
you, and I
school
hope
from
you have a wonderful
21st of
Thanksgiving
February
too.
to the 5th of March, which is about 2 weeks.
All right. And then she hasn't been back since, obviously. All right.
Hey Janice, thank you for being here.
Now, what about his demeanor? Has she?
I mean, other than missing school, everything's been pretty normal. I did have one day with her where she, I wonder if I can remember the day. She got upset at me because I was trying to kind of push her. She can be a little bit, I don't want to say lazy, but you have to kind of push her a little bit. And and so, well, I don't want to do this, and I'm like, okay, too bad, basically. And because I know she can do it. It's not that she isn't able, it's just that she doesn't want to. And so I kind of, like, you're gonna do this or you're gonna stay in at recess. And she became upset and was crying. And she usually wasn't a crier or that emotional, but it didn't really stand out to me as. I mean, I make kids cry, unfortunately.
So at that time, that was nothing that really stood out to the teacher. But the little girl, and I call her that because she was a little girl, and she was in 4th grade at the time. She was always well-rounded. She never got upset. I mean, was there things at home starting to fall apart? Or was she starting to sense things? And even with Israel not showing up when he always showed up before, I don't know. I mean, so but she said, she was one of those kids. The teacher said that this is one of those kids you always had to be pushed. So I don't know. You know, Israel never socialized with anybody, and the daughter probably never really socialized with anybody other than her parents. And I say her parents, that's not her biological mother, and that's where the confusion is coming in. But she's only known that lady as her mother ever since she was little. And that woman, I'm going to tell you from my research and everything that I found, loved her as if she was owned and protected her from everything. And she was in so much shock when all this happened. It's just terrible. But it seemed like the teacher's going to tell you that he was always watching everything, But his daughter, she adored her father. She adored him. And they say that the daughter was very patient with his daughter as well. So these are just things coming out after the arrest from the teacher and from different people that knew them and was close to them.
So, she wasn't the only kid crying that day at school, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And actually, I can tell you what day that was because I had quite a few kids freak out that day. I think it was...
So that wasn't completely out of the ordinary.
Yes and no. For her a little bit, but I don't know if it was just, what it could have been kind of thing. That was on February 24th. I thought it was something in the air. Like, I was thinking it was a full moon or something because I was thinking I should have called in sick that day because one of those days.
Yeah. Well, that's fourth graders for you.
Yeah.
So,
and I looked through her desk, just for anything out of the ordinary. I didn't find anything, but I did. I have in this email because she had been on 2 trips. The first trip she went on, he emailed me ahead of time for both and said, send her with stuff or whatever. And so usually what I do is I say, we'll take a book, here's some math pages, write in a journal about what you're doing every day or something fun, just kind of self-directed. I don't send him with a ton of paperwork or anything like that.
But this trip he didn't ask for work? Or?
Well, he did ask for before both trips to send her with work, which I did. But I had emailed him right before they left on the second trip and had said, here's some math pages, have her take a book and a journal to write in. And I said, but I never saw her journal from the last trip. So, because usually they'll bring that in and it says, we went, because she had told me about it verbally that they went on a cruise and she ate all this ice cream and stuff. But I never saw, like a journal of what they had done each day.
Now, for those coming in and didn't know, the cruise that they went on, this was wild. This was after he killed Samantha, the girl at the coffee shop, allegedly the last one, and he took her back to his home, and he took her in the shed, and of course the little girl and the stepmom, the mom, whatever you want to call it, it's in all sense her mom after she raised her since she was little, they didn't know anything. And he did all these horrible things to Samantha. And then he goes in there and he wakes up the mom and the little girl, and they go on this cruise. They go on a cruise. He goes on a cruise. So he takes his daughter and they go on this cruise. And now the teacher's telling how she come back and wrote in her journal that time how she had a good time. They ate ice cream and all the things. But now this trip, allegedly, she didn't write anything in the journal or anything. Wow.
And she did show me on a map, because she sits right by my desk, so she just kind of talks to me a lot, and so she had showed me on a map, can I show you where we went? And so I believe she said they flew into Texas, and then they did kind of a road trip. I know she said they went to New Orleans, because I was like, oh, I've been there before, how did you like it? It's kind of a crazy place. And then I'm not sure where their cruise went out of, or went to exactly, but that was kind of the general area where they were.
Okay. And that was the 2nd through the 14th one?
Yes, of February.
All right. Okay. And did she say where she was going? I mean, was this something that she talked about leading up to the trip? Or was it like, because you know how kids get excited about stuff. I know when we go on vacation, my kids, you can't shut them up.
Well, I know that, I believe she had said that they were going on a cruise before the trip, but she didn't say anything about, the driving part. I mean.
Okay. So she did talk about it beforehand, so like this was a planned vacation.
Yeah, I believe so. And then, of course, when she came back, she had kind of told me a little bit more of the details.
Okay. Now, what about the one on the second trip?
Well, he had emailed that something unexpected came up this weekend, and there's a family function out of state that Lee and I will be flying out for tomorrow night. And then she had said that there was a wedding or something that they were going to.
Okay. An unexpected wedding.
I guess so.
That wedding, I think, is when he told the cops that also it was his sister's wedding, if I'm not mistaken, when they pulled him over. But whether she was already had the wedding or married or not, and that was just his excuse, I don't know.
And what day did he email you about the unexpected?
That was the March 5th at 1:08 a.m. And he put they're leaving tomorrow night, as in that night. Because, the whole midnight thing throws people off.
And obviously she didn't mention anything about that trip beforehand because it was last minute. Or...
Yes, it was just that day, the March 5th, because then she was gone the next day. Because, I kind of said, okay, give me your math book and I'll tear out some pages and stuff. And so she had said that they were going to a wedding.
Okay, so she was there at school on March 5th?
Yes.
Make me nervous when you did it.
Makes me nervous just to stand this close to.
No, Holly, he protected his daughter. He always protected his daughter. His daughter is still alive, but he did not want his daughter to know things that he did and stuff like that. But no, she's still alive. She's got a whole new identity, a whole nother name, all the things. She's still alive. But I tell you what, it makes me wonder about her real mother, because think about it. His girlfriend raised this daughter as if she was his since she was a little baby. Where's the mother? And also the police kept her identity closed because they didn't want anybody to find out who the daughter is. But normally when these things happen, Ellie could give a shit less about whatever's going on except the person that they're prosecuting or whatever, right? Now, they may care about the daughter, but it's just strange to me about her mother. I know for a fact, I found out now, that no, when she went into family safety or custody after this, it was definitely not her bio mom. She didn't even go back to her bio mom. So no, anybody, I wasn't sure the last couple of days, but I researched, and no, her bio mom has never gave a interview, and no, her bio mom does not have her. He had custody of her, and she lived with him. So yeah, absolutely. No, you didn't, Raymond. Absolutely, you didn't bug me at all. I posted that everywhere. There is a girl missing out of Raymond's area in New York, and I posted that. If y'all want to look, please make sure you share it. It's so sad, all these missing kids. But no, you didn't bug me. I'm glad you told me, honey.
That's about all I can think of. You thinking?
Uh,
Anything
well,
else I wanted to ask?
No, and of course I was out of the room for most of it, but did he ever explain why he missed his,
No,
did you ever ask him, or?
no.
Okay.
That I wouldn't usually, though. You know, I mean, any
Well,
parent.
no, yeah, I was just,
It's
if
any,
it came up.
yeah, no, any parent, you know, would just, I would say, oh, sorry I missed you. You know, I figured something came up, or you guys weren't back yet, or something.
Didn't volunteer any explanation,
No.
just acted like he'd never missed anything. And
Yes, correct.
He was notified about it, and
Yeah, and
acknowledged that he knew about it.
and he confirmed that he was going to be there
Yeah.
via email.
And what was
Yeah.
the date of that one?
February
That-
3rd.
The 16th was his parent conference.
Yeah. But February 3rd, he said he would be there.
Yes,
the
yeah,
email.
correct.
Okay.
And then the conference on
Or
the...
February 5th. This was.
I'm sorry?
Well, I emailed him on February 3rd, telling him when his conference was, and then he emailed me back on February 5th saying he would be
Okay.
there. And then I confirmed, you know, like within the next week or so. We usually do a reminder. So,
Okay. And then 16th, he was a no-show at 4:20.
yes.
She was back to school on the 21st.
Yes.
And you called on, or he called on the 23rd.
I called on the 23rd.
Or, yeah, you called.
Mhm.
And he answered when you called.
Yes. I spoke with him in the morning and kind of tried to set a time to talk later in the day, because I usually wouldn't expect that, you know, do you have 20 minutes right now? You know, I give him kind of a window of, I'll call at this time.
And before 1 o'clock, you spoke with him for maybe 10 minutes.
Yes, yes.
And this is your phone number, or
But I
That's the
called.
one that you called him
No,
from?
I called him from the school phone.
from the school?
Yeah, I've never called him from my personal phone.
You might.
Go ahead.
The way I can stop writing it. There we go.
Yeah.
God bless the phones.
So I'm your stenographer now.
No, well, I'll forget everything we just said.
Okay.
Can we go back to the office?
Okay. All right. I think that about covers it.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much everything you said when you called in. But we've got copies of those emails now,
Okay.
and Seth ran them down to the detectives.
Okay.
Once again, if you think of anything, anything comes up, anything jogs your memory, go ahead and give me a call. The first number is dispatch. The second's my desk, and that's my cell, of course.
Okay.
And then, like I said, we're working hand in hand with the detectives on this one. So anything you remember or anything strikes you as odd that comes up, then go ahead and give me a call. I'll get that information straight to the detectives.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And thank you very much for coming in.
No problem.
All right,
Okay, so that was the teacher of his daughter. And again, his daughter adored him and he adored his daughter, you know. He was patient with her. Um, he just acted like a man who lived a very structured life. He always let him know when he wasn't going to be there or when his daughter wasn't going to be there. Even investigators found it creepy how um, perfectly normal he seemed to the teacher. It was almost rehearsed, you know, it really was. And, you know, it's sad, but I do think he started to slip there on the end. And okay, again, to the confusion, I finally dug up where the confusion's coming in at. Israel Key's daughter did not, let me say that again, did not live with her bio mother. She lived with Israel Keys and the woman that he was with for many, many, many years. That was his longtime girlfriend, who many people that they interviewed, talked to, knew them, everybody described as very kind, as they thought of her as the child's mother, and she really took good care of her. But she was a nurse, she was a healthcare worker, and you know, the biological mother, she was not active or involved in the daughter's life at all. She did not live with Israel Keys or his daughter. Their relationship had ended a long time ago, way before he was arrested. Um, and Israel Keys had full physical public information out there on the mother because Israel Keys intentionally kept her, the daughter, out of the spotlight, kept her daughter's mother protected daughter's identity and the mother's, the bio mom's identity due to the child's safety. They wanted this child to be safe when all this come out. So law enforcement never put out who the woman who was with Keys. Again, she raised her. And in all accounts, that was to her mother and her daughter. And vice versa. This woman, people often mix her up. They mix her up with the bio mom, and that's just not true. It was Key's long-term girlfriend, almost wife, but not married. They did not have a nurse and was a healthcare nurse worker. She lived with raise his daughter from the time she was very, very young. And she was completely blindsided. She was completely unaware of any of his crimes. And the FBI, all the law enforcement, they know this. And she was also interviewed after the arrest. Devastated. I could not imagine. So what I want to do though, I want to listen to the babysitter now. And full credit, Soto still. And so let's continue to rock this out. Hold on a minute. Let's see. As you see, this was this was the babysitter back and forth. Israel right here, sent from AT&T at 12:11 p.m., whatever. That was December 16th, 2011. So she babysat for a long time before he ever got caught. And so can y'all can see that? Okay, just want to make sure. So yeah, so
This is Officer Bill. I'm going on tape. It is the 22nd of March, 10:28 by my watch. Is that right? I'm with. This is reference 12.
Hey, how goes Mom? Hello, happy
5307.
Thanksgiving.
And also present is mother.
Sorry, I pronounce that wrong every single time.
Everybody does all my life.
What's your date of birth? Okay.
You just had a birthday turning 20.
So your birthday was on the. Okay. I guess first of all, if you wouldn't mind just telling me what were you the babysitter? What was your relationship with and/or the family there?
Yeah, I was their babysitter, so I watched, not all the time, but it was, occasionally, and yeah, also from.
The 10-year-old that I said earlier.
Is that the one downstairs? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so, how long have you known and/or the family?
Probably 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I guess what I like that just generally, recently, have you seen from December? How often do you see Israel? Does he drop her off? Does she just come over here and he makes sure she's
She comes
here?
over, we go and pick up my daughter from his house and stuff. And
He's like right around the corner.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
probably see him at least once a week.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And I don't know if anybody's asked you this. You would probably ask this, but do you know the truck he drives? The white truck
Yeah.
he drives with the green toolbox
Yeah,
and the
I've
lumber
seen
rack on it. Have you ever seen that truck without the toolbox?
I haven't personally seen
Okay.
it without.
I
it's when I go
agree.
over there, it's always
She tells
has
some
the
really
rack and
thank-
stuff on it.
sweet-
Because when I was here
Now
last
looking
time,
back.
I asked,
Yeah.
and she said that she had. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember she said that. But she goes over there,
Okay.
Frequently.
She is.
She goes over there a lot, and if it's daylight, then she always has to take her sister or her brother or something, but so they go over there too. But if it's daylight, then they just come back on their own. But if it's dark, because it gets dark earlier,
Okay.
then we go and get them. But
Okay.
I have to walk by his truck all the time in order to
Yeah.
get to his door, and
Yeah.
it just always looks the same. But I never really, paid a lot of attention.
And so, when you would babysit for him, is it because he's working? Is it because he's doing? Would it be daytime, nighttime?
It was always night, and he would be going out with his girlfriend.
Okay.
Just doing something, going to a play or a party or something.
Okay. And would you say you were babysitting more recently or less than normal?
Probably less than normal. I just recently was house sitting for him, kind of watching his 3 pugs and little lizard.
No.
Hello.
Not Mark Laporte. I didn't.
Oh, he had 3 pugs and a lizard. Oh, remember, he's the one who does not like animals. He's also the one that harmed animals and even skinned a deer. It's not such a big deal skinning a deer. Many people go hunting. He skinned a deer alive, people. He tortured animals. That was his thing. But I wonder if he has these 3 pugs, bless their hearts, and the lizard or whatever for his daughter, right? He tried to live a normal life with his daughter. And this babysitter right here is going to tell it. She would babysit. And as you see, that was a text message from her back in 2011. He was caught in 2012. He'd been doing this for years, though, for decades. But the babysitter just said, she would mostly babysit for him at nighttime when he would go out and get some me time with his girlfriend. He had to keep the girlfriend happy. After all, she took care of his daughter, and his daughter was his pride and joy, right?
I met you before. I'm Officer Bell.
Oh,
How you
yeah, you
doing?
were
Have a
that
seat.
first day.
And father
Yes.
just walked in. Is it? That's right.
Yes.
Okay. We're running. I have a tape recorder running. All right. So, you'd say less because.
They just haven't been needing me as often.
Okay. And you said you house sat for them.
Yeah, that was, I think I started house sitting for them on February 2nd
I thought it was the third.
or 3rd. Well, I just
It might have been the second.
I wrote a note after he called me. Yeah, actually, it could have been. It was probably the 3rd.
I'm assuming that maybe
Simon, thank you for the
since
super
this you've been
chat. Happy Thanksgiving
thinking
to
of stuff
you
yourself.
as
I mean,
well.
since
Yeah. I called.
So you think February
Yeah.
2nd, you start house sitting? Now, that will be when he left the first time to go to Texas,
Yeah, see,
Went
I
to
guess
Mexico.
he went
on a cruise.
Right.
I think what they did is they went to Louisiana 1st,
Mhm.
and they took a cruise to Mexico, and then they went to Texas from there.
Okay.
I think that's what they said.
Okay.
So, and then they were there in Texas for a little while. They came back to Alaska for a couple weeks, and then they left for Texas again, just he and for a wedding.
Okay.
I believe that's what
But they had told us that they were going to do that too.
Yeah, it was a while.
Did he mention when he was coming back after the wedding trip?
They said that they would be back before spring break was over.
All right. So that might answer a lot of the questions I have. And so what we've done now since Israel's arrest is we've got his phone records. So we know who he called and who called him
Right.
on his phone. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is there's some probably explains why there's so much correspondence, or at least more than what I initially thought for a babysitter.
Right.
And the times. So one of them that would be really important to us to know what you were talking about was that you know that Samantha disappeared on February 1st. All right, and I brought I have a calendar just to help you if you don't remember when the days of the week are. So Wednesday, February 1st is the night that Samantha disappeared at 8:00 at night, and then the next day at
I will say he was awful brazen. He brought Samantha back to his home, and he was awful brazen to have the babysitter there at his home, as well as his, well, she might as well have been his wife, but it was she was his almost wife and daughter. How creepy is that, y'all? I would freak. Oh my gosh.
on the 2nd is when Israel and left for New Orleans or for their cruise. And so one of the phone calls, and this probably explains it, why I thought 6 minutes and 6 seconds on Wednesday the 1st at 5:53. So 6 o'clock at night. Do you remember what was that? Just about what was going to happen on the caring for the dogs? Was that? And I don't see any correspondence between you and. Was there some?
No, not really. She
Okay.
wrote me a note when I got there.
So it's not the one who calls you to arrange the house.
No.
It was him, Israel. Do you remember that phone call in particular?
On the 1st?
Yes.
Yeah, he called me to ask to take care of his dogs.
Okay.
'Cause he was
So
going on a cruise.
that's the first time he asked for you to babysit the house, basically, and the dogs.
Yeah.
You hadn't talked about it prior to that.
No.
Okay. Do you know how long he had said that they were planning on leaving?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of a last minute thing. Where
She said that the neighbors were going to watch the dog, but then they've been, for some reason, they didn't.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so you were kind of written in
Yeah,
the
that-
script.
Yeah,
That's why-
someone was going to watch it for me.
That's why, okay, that's why the late call right before he left.
Yes.
Okay. So then that's on the 1st. He's basically, is he giving you some instructions on when to feed him, all that
Yeah,
kind of
the
stuff?
code to
Did you
feed the
stay there, or did you just go over there? And
I
do
just
that?
walked over there every day to take care of the dogs.
All right. So then when he arrives in Texas on the 2nd, there is at 7 in the evening, so 7 o'clock in the evening.
Texas time or less?
Well, I don't know. I don't know whether they've this is all Alaska time.
Probably Texas time, which will be Texas time before.
I can only presume that he has just gotten there. Probably just gotten there. Actually, it looks like he's there around 6 o'clock at night. But so around 8 o'clock, there's 3 phone calls, 2 attempts, it looks like, to you, and then 1 successful where he talks to you for about 3 minutes. Do you remember that the next day on the 2nd? And it would have been.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the evening at 8:13, so I don't know whether it's 5:15 here or it is truly 8:15.
It might have been when he asked me how everything was going. Like,
Okay.
like if the dogs were eating and stuff.
Okay.
Because they don't like to eat sometimes. So he said if they're not eating, then to let him know so that I can put special things in their food.
Okay.
So
Are they his dogs or both?
I think.
I don't even want to know what kind of special things he fed them.
That's what I heard.
Okay. And then do you? And then again, these may be all. I don't know if you remember anything specific, but on Saturday, so 4 days after they leave, you guys talk for about a minute at 4 in the afternoon. I don't know whether that's 1 in the afternoon or 4 in the afternoon,
yeah.
but sometime in the afternoon on that Saturday. Do you remember that call at all?
You called her.
Yeah.
All the phone calls. I don't see any phone calls from.
Yeah,
the night
the one
after.
time when I
Yeah,
called him.
Except for the one after he's arrested.
Partially asleep,
bonehead
and I was
moment, I
like,
to call it.
Well, but
It
no,
definitely
it's not
was.
really because
It's not,
we
because you were
couldn't
worried
tell.
about, I mean, fully understand.
Right, we were just worried about.
Yeah.
When we were here, we weren't at a point where we could come and tell you Israel's been arrested in Texas and he's a person of business in a kidnapping.
Right.
That's why we didn't tell you that, because
Well, we understand.
so the ruse that we did was nobody has seen them.
Right.
We're looking for them.
So then we're all worried about.
I was concerned. I was like, it was
Yeah.
partially awake.
I understand. So, do you remember that call at all on Saturday?
It was probably him just calling to see how things were again.
Okay. And then another one that again, before I knew you were house sitting, was weird, and I still think it's weird. At 2:26 in the morning on the Sunday, so that evening, he talks to you at 4 in the afternoon or so for about a minute. And then
What day was that again? The 4th?
the 4th.
Oh, okay.
So on the
Yeah.
4th, there's a phone call for about a minute.
Okay.
Then at 2:26 in the morning
On the 5th.
on the 5th, so the night of Saturday, so Saturday night, Sunday morning, there's a minute phone call where he initiated contact with you at 2:26 in the morning.
2:26 in the morning would be like
It's either
5 o'clock. No.
There or
No, it would be 11 o'clock.
Good afternoon.
could be
welcome
11
to
o'clock here. I don't know whether they've
Oh.
corrected these
Amen.
times
Oh, right.
to Alaska, all Alaska
They're
times,
probably to the tower.
or origination time, because he crossed so many states.
Yeah,
that's,
right, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Remember
I don't.
if they
I
called
think.
you
I think
late
I remember
at night
him
or
calling
early
me kind of late. But.
Do you still have your phone?
Uh-huh.
Do you erase contacts or stuff?
No, I don't
So would
erase
all that
anything.
still be in there?
I
We
tried
tried
to.
to look
I
back.
tried to look
I don't know
back.
if it'll go that
It
far.
back
It didn't
so
show
far.
anything.
She
I
was
realized-
Is it an iPhone?
How about
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Well, but what does show up is texting. Can you pull him up and see what kind of? Because he sent you some texts also.
Yeah, he did send me some texts. I haven't deleted those. So, most of them are just about when he took them to what was that? What's that called? The dog sled races.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
did it
yeah.
right.
I did a ride. Yeah, he took that, and so he sent me some pictures of them with the ice sculptures and everything. Because he doesn't have my mom's number.
Yeah.
Sent to us.
You know, she's lucky he didn't get fixated on her. Maybe he was starting to. All these how many of y'all have had babysitters or have babysitters? Would you call them or text them at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:26 in the morning, or anytime like that? She was a young girl. I wonder, she's lucky that she did not get herself in a predicament, if you ask me. This is wild, y'all. And yeah, Holly, I'm the same. I remember this, but this was back, before I was even on YouTube, and you just kind of you listen to the news and you go on, but this is interesting. I think it's important to put out. Samantha's father also, that was his last victim, is pushing laws, has pushed laws, still talking about how important it is to have cameras in the workplaces and stuff like that. But the more that we find out, wow, it's just, my mind is blown, just like the FBI's. I mean, they said they can't believe how normal he seemed to these people that they interviewed. And that just shows what a psychopath he was. In my opinion, the babysitters were weirdos too. Probably Raymond. Now, I'm listening to this babysitter. It's kind of weird. Now, her mom is there with her, so let's just listen, because it's strange to me. But oh, it gives me the chills, honey.
my number, but he doesn't, so.
Pretty much, he just said it was like about 1 a.m. when he texted me and said that he's back.
So this is the one where he texts you at on the
Why? Hold on.
She would know not to go to Pizza Dogs.
on the 18th.
See, why did he feel the need to text her at 1 a.m. to let her know he's back? Okay, couldn't have waited till the next morning. She's also a child. Why all these texts and stuff? Just asking.
So he texts you at 1:11 a.m. and then he also sends you a text at 2:16.
Yeah, and when he called me on the 14th,
Mm-hmm.
he was supposed to be back by then, but he said that he missed his flight.
What when he called you on this? What did he tell you that day?
Okay, he said that he had gotten stuck,
In the
and
mud.
got stuck, and then he was like gone for I think an entire day. That's what he was like. No one knew where he was or anything.
Did he tell you where he was?
No, yeah, he just he said that he got stuck and lost, and so it made it so he missed his flight, and so he just figured he would stay a few days longer. And that he got stuck, and he wasn't.
I mean, he's telling the babysitter he got stuck and lost. He's telling her some weird shit, in my opinion. Hey, Lock Lady, happy Thanksgiving, sweet friend. Hello, many blessings to you and your family. Oh, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I love you, Nana. You have a great Thanksgiving holiday with your family. Love you so much. Thank you for being in here. But yeah, I just think this is so weird, y'all. It's weird. Oh my God. I mean, it's understandable if he texts the teacher because the teacher's not going to get her stuff until the next morning when she goes to school. But really, what was he doing? Maybe he was grooming this girl. I don't know.
Able to contact anyone, and he was stuck there for a long time. And then he came back, and they didn't stay.
With his mom during this
Yeah,
time?
she was with
Have you talked since?
family.
No, wish we could.
We've talked, when they were back here, of course.
But
you
I mean,
know,
has her phone.
But we have not, we haven't.
can't
We
find her
can't
number.
find her phone number because what she always called me, and I looked on my phone and like the iPhones, if I get too many calls, all of a sudden it's
It
gone.
disappears.
And I couldn't find the phone number in my daughter's phone. She can't find it on it.
Can you, do you have data on your iPhone?
Yes, internet.
Yeah. So
yeah.
can you can actually do edit the text that he sent you, and under the edit you can click them all.
Is it okay if I take photos of these texts?
I was going to have her send them to your email.
Oh,
And then you can hit forward, and we can give you
Oh,
his
yeah,
email,
yeah,
and you
he
can
does
do
that
it.
sometimes.
in case she
You can
can't.
do that on
In case she
on the
can't figure that out.
photos,
Do you know how to do it
too.
for
Would you mind
sure?
if we did that?
Sure.
Um,
Okay. You know how
Okay,
to do that, right?
because that is kind of a
Okay, this
interesting
is,
period of time
so
for
we
us
hit
on the
edit.
14th there, and then he
Yeah.
called
And
you
then we
during it.
select
So
all.
he just basically says, "I'm stuck somewhere in the mud."
Yeah, like when he called me, he wasn't.
He wasn't
stuck
anymore.
right
He had
then.
been.
And then
He
you
was
forward.
talking about how he was stuck,
Okay.
and that he missed
We're going to
his
send
flight.
that to,
something like
yours
that.
is
And
jbell at
At
muni.org.
muni.org.
Okay.
So he wanted to tell her that he was going to need her to watch the
Because
dogs
he wasn't
longer.
going to be in town.
Yeah, and then and he said he'd pay her extra.
Okay.
And he did.
And so then at 1 a.m. he texts you to say, "I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything's good." And then at 4 o'clock that afternoon, so the night he
I
gets
haven't
back,
seen it yet.
you guys talk for about a minute
Then I
again.
come here and I hit send.
So he's back in the middle of the night,
So
and then you guys talk at 4 in the afternoon.
I
I
came
think that was
afterwards
just,
when we found out
with
because
him saying thank you or
we
something.
didn't tell you
or
the time use the rest. We had
his
we saw that
over
your
and
daughter
said he
had
would
called.
give me money
And
or-
so came
She
not
brought over the
knowing
money,
that
too.
he had contacted you for
And so then on Saturday, this might be the Iditarod. There's 4 texts from him. Are those all pictures probably that he has sent to you? Okay.
So, and is that all the photo in that text message from him? That's
Is that
got
all the
photos
texting
and
from
all the
Israel you
text.
have?
That's all we have for that time period.
Yeah.
So there's nothing else. Okay, I've sent that to your email. You can pull it up on your phone, confirm it's there, but with the photos, it'll take a few minutes.
All right.
Forever, really, those.
All right. Well, that pretty much explains the questions I had for
that.
And then when so during, I guess, another period of time that I'd really like to be interested in is so when he gets back the first time, when he gets back the 17th, 18th at 1 in the morning, when you get these text messages from him, do you recall any contact between like that time, either watching or with him until he gets back? Do you know when he gets back, by the way? You know she didn't come back with him on the 17th.
Oh, I didn't.
I didn't.
Yeah, that she didn't come back with them. And I said, oh, why not? And she said, I don't know. But she did say something to us about it, and I was like, oh. And then she said something about when they were going to go back for the wedding, they were going to get it going. And you had asked her, like, something, I don't remember. She told you something about it.
Did she say anything about the second trip, about what their plans were other than a wedding? Were they going to go anywhere else? Were they flying straight to the wedding? Were they going to drive around or anything like
No,
that? Did
she
say?
just said that they were going to her aunt's wedding.
Something like that, yeah.
So do you know
Hold on.
during the 17th, between the 17th and the 20th?
Did she say the aunt's wedding? Well, he told the cops, just FYI, if I remember correctly, when he was arrested, it was his sister's wedding. So there could be two different weddings. I don't know. But this is very strange. It's real strange. And yes, I think Holly, he could have very well been grooming this girl. All these weird old text messages in the middle of the night and stuff. And it's just all strange. And a lot of these people, they do lure with their animals, with their dogs, with their lizards. Again, he was cruel to animals prior to this. Very cruel. I don't think he liked his animals. I think, possibly to soothe his girlfriend over, long-time girlfriend that took care of his daughter, and as much as he loved his daughter, allegedly, and tried to protect her, maybe the animals was for her. But think about it. 3 pugs, 3, and a lizard. For someone who hates animals that much, why? Again, psychopath.
Second or so when back, if you did any babysitting for
He stayed the night.
Yeah, that was
she
right
did,
before
but-
they left for the
Yeah,
second
but
trip.
I never babysat for them.
So
She
he
was
didn't
still
come
here.
over here when she spent the night to get her? or
No, this
they
is close.
just walked
Our
over?
Oh,
guys
he
just
used to
walk
pick
back.
her up.
Yeah.
When she would come over, he would just pick her up and get her, which usually we would take her back. And so he was like, and also my daughter was over at his house a lot during this time. They-
so February,
back and forth.
specifically like February 18th, this period of time, this whole week is what I'm really looking to see if anybody.
You want a pen?
No, that's all right. I have a pen. If you remember spending an extended amount of time here or being babysat or anything like that,
Like a long
the next week
Okay, what day was it
After
I
she
took?
came back?
What day was
Yeah,
it?
after she
What
came
day
back.
Did I take the kids to the water park? That was after she came back.
That was the
wasn't
day
it?
that she came back.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
That
the day
is-
she came back, I took.
A Saturday or a Sunday, because she came back at like 2 in the morning on a Saturday
It was
night.
on
Exactly
Sunday.
what day. Over into-
She is,
Saturday. It was Saturday. Saturday.
Oh, was it?
That's when that Boy Scout
Party was.
party was.
so if you took
H2
her,
Oasis. Okay, so on Saturday at 1 p.m., I took my son and my 2 daughters to H2 Oasis.
With-
No. She came over here
Yeah, she
right
didn't wanna
before
go,
we
she
left,
said
but
she
she
thinks
didn't want to go.
you mean too much
But she
already.
stayed. She hung out here all day.
Yeah.
oh,
While the person she came over to play with went with me, and we left.
Yeah,
we were
I-
gone like 6 hours.
I
But
just
she
hung out
kept
with
having
her.
to call him and ask if she could stay longer.
Yeah, she
every
did.
hour.
She has every
do
time
you
she comes
know,
over,
do
she
you
has
know,
to check in.
were all you guys at, who was here?
I just
was
took me and my
here,
3
she
kids.
was here.
Everybody else was here.
Was he home, or you can't really see his truck?
Yeah,
you
I don't
if
know
he's
for
in?
sure if he was home, but I know that she acted like he was home.
Yeah.
She kept saying that she was supposed to be that she had to call him to see if she could stay longer.
Yeah, every time she
That's
comes
all.
over, she has to call in like
And
Every hour.
Well, he called her. The only calls we have from him to her on the 18th are 6:40, 7:50 in the evening, 6:40, 7:54, and 8:52.
On the 18th?
On the 18th.
Oh, yeah, and I called
No,
her.
she may have been calling him. I don't
yeah,
have
she
those
was
are
those.
his
calling-
outgoing.
Yeah,
These are only-
she was calling him because she would ask if she could
No,
stay
these are
longer.
actually his outgoing and
And
incoming.
she had to call Israel to ask
So
if
she
she could
wasn't
take her to
calling that
Pie.
number.
I was gonna
To,
take her out
to go to
for
Pie, because she took her out for Pie that day.
So I called to ask if I could do that.
Do they have a home phone?
Took him out to took her out to what?
Yeah.
Hi, I was when they went to H2 Oasis. I just hung out with her. She doesn't have any little brothers or
She-
sisters,
yeah.
so she's all alone over there. So I was like, you can hang out with me.
She likes to spend time
And
on
we
there.
played some video games, and then my friend was coming over, and I was like, oh, maybe we can go out for pie. So I called Israel and asked if I could take her.
Yeah.
So then I took her to the village.
And you called his cell phone.
Because
Yes,
she
I
was
called
Did
waiting
it
for
seem
to
he was
get
at
back.
home?
Yeah. It seemed like it.
That was at
Yeah.
4 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was wanting to go back, and they were only going to be gone a couple hours for a birthday party, but they ended up staying like
A long time.
Yeah, once
and
you're
so
in the
she
water
kept
and all that.
waiting for them to come back, and she didn't want to leave until she got back, and so she just kept asking if she could stay longer.
But it's not the first time neighbor kids have hung out at our house.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But she
Yeah.
usually
Without the
doesn't
other
stay
kids
that long.
being
She
here,
usually isn't
we're
at our
very
house
open
that long.
house.
She's usually only here for a couple hours.
Her dad's very adamant about her staying in touch, and
She has certain
Yeah.
bedtimes, certain meal times, certain
he's-
everything. So.
this shocked me.
What?
Well, we're
Yeah.
pretty laid
You
back.
guys have known him for a couple of years and talked to him and talked to him, and sometimes kids talk. Has ever kind of mentioned something about maybe a place her and her dad go to that's a special place or some place, could be
We're trying to figure out if he may have a place other than right here,
here
that he
that
goes
maybe
to
he
often.
goes to. Have
Well-
they ever mentioned anything or she said anything or?
I
I think so.
no.
Hey, let
I've
them.
never heard her say
Happy
anything about that. I
Thanksgiving
mean,
to you.
But
Thank
like
you for
she,
being here.
Or any place they go. It may not even be a secret place. It may be some place that maybe they're going to. Could be anywhere. Could be out in the valley. Could be down on Kenai. Could be here in Anchorage, Hillside. Just anywhere that maybe they're going to.
Were they
visit and do
campers?
something.
Did they do things? Did they
One thing they
fish?
ever did outdoors that I remember that stood out in my mind was they took my daughter canoeing or kayaking
Kayak-
Yeah.
at
Yeah, at
Sand Lake.
Sand
Sand-
Lake.
It wasn't Sand Lake.
Oh.
It was the other one.
What was that?
Julie,
No, down from there's Jewel Lake, Sand Lake,
DeLong?
DeLong Lake.
the long way.
Oh yeah, they took her boat. Yeah.
And mainly the reason I said that she could even go
Ca-
along was because I knew where it was
canoeing.
at and it wasn't like a long ways away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also always took to work with them when she didn't have school and stuff.
He even
And
took my
and she
kids.
took, and he took quite a few times actually before.
Do you know any jobs that he's been doing here in the last couple months
That's-
specifically?
I don't.
Clueless. I don't know where it works at.
What do you think? May know something that the two girls talked about because she knew about the truck bed being off.
Right.
She's the only one.
Yeah.
Out of all, seriously, out of all
Well,
the adults.
and the only
Talked
two people
about
that noticed that off.
Yeah.
None of the other neighbors noticed
Probably
that.
because
They see
take
it
some
the most
places and
often,
stuff,
so
and
they
she-
would
and they
notice
go
if
and
there's something
she
different.
even helped them, like she helps them do their driveway and stuff like that.
And how would you
For fun.
describe what's Israel's? How would you describe his demeanor?
It's just really nice.
Oh, he's.
He's always nice and really nice to.
Outgoing,
said that she
social.
wishes he was
Is
her
he
dad
the kind of
sometimes.
person that has a Facebook page and lots of friends? Is he?
I don't know if he has one. I know he does, his girlfriend.
Yeah, I
Is that
don't
on
know.
Facebook?
Yeah.
Do you have? Are you friends with her on Facebook?
No, the only reason I know that is because one time when I was babysitting, I used their computer and I went on Facebook and I saw her email. In
Are
there,
you
so-
on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Is he on Facebook?
No.
No.
But she does talk to
Okay.
her mom from some kind of FaceTime, maybe Skype, I think.
Well, okay, her dad and her have a really good relationship.
Israel
together.
and
Israel. Israel is a really nice guy. So when I heard this, I was very.
And we were
shocked.
like, what?
Well, no, we saw he was involved
Well,
with this case.
how about religion? Does
She said she thought he was a nice guy. He was a really nice guy. And so everybody said that, the teacher, everybody. He never gave any vibes off any otherwise. He was a quiet guy. He stayed to himself, was reserved, Y'all, I told you those are the kind you had to watch. But hey, what do I know?
Do you know? Would you have any idea on what this?
Not that I've ever.
We know
Because the
that
other-
he got mad because he didn't want him over here because he thought that she was picking up bad language. He thought that she was picking up "oh my God" from here, but it turned out that it was somebody else because we don't allow our kids to say that either.
Well, the reason
So
why I say
that's all we
some
know
of the
about
other
that.
neighbors said he's a little estranged. One neighbor specifically said, he goes, he remodeled the place and it looks great. We think it's great because it's helped all the property value. And
Yeah.
he goes, I'll wave at him all the time and he'll look at me and almost never respond even with a wave back. He goes, he just seems a little isolated. That's why I'm kind of
Because
curious.
he's always
about you
really
guys.
nice. Like when I went to pick up he was in.
I've only met him once.
Every time I
It was
knock
like
on the
2 years
door
ago,
there
so-
or ring the doorbell,
seem
they
like
never
it.
hear it. I mean, nobody hears it.
Yeah.
Doesn't hear it. Doesn't hear it. He doesn't hear it, and so I'm like standing there like, I feel awkward, but he walked out in the garage, and then he saw me. He was, oh hi, and
You
he
want my
just
daughter?
He's
opened
really
the door,
nice.
and then he said,
I'd like to ask her that.
and when we left, he said, thanks for helping me and everything. He just acts totally normal.
Yeah, and it's like,
He
you
said
know,
hi to me before when he was
not
driving
the
by.
fake kind of nice. It's really, it's like genuine. Just happy to see you. Really
Doesn't
nice
like
guy.
look away.
He's
or
so
look
good to
weird.
his daughter. You know, he does her hair every morning.
cuts
How does he do her hair?
And he'll do it
She
like
said
in
something that-
braids or
Yeah, and she
ponytails
said
or-
that he uses a detangler spray and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because she's
Have you ever
upset that
seen
she
her?
didn't have it.
Like the French braids, or what kind of
Oh,
braids are you talking about? Like this
Yeah.
ponytail?
Tight woven
Tight.
to the head?
I mean, what kind?
No,
Oh no,
no.
it depends. I mean,
It's usually-
That's what he did
yeah,
to
usually
Samantha.
she's had a loose little ponytail. in
His
there.
last
It's hard for
victim,
her
he
to handle
braided her
because
hair
it's
like he did her
really,
daughter.
wild and
hair.
His daughter.
But
you know.
he's
But he's-
comfortable in doing it.
Yeah, he is. He does her hair every
Every now and
Which
then
is
she really
unusual
straightens
for
it,
most
which
dads.
is-
Yeah.
Unless you're a single dad
Yeah.
or
Unless you're a
something.
single dad.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there.
Sometimes
She's been with
Kimberly
them for a while
straightens it
now.
and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
usually
one
it's
time Kimberly
curly.
straightened it. No, actually, I think the salon did that for her.
Oh,
She
really?
went and got her hair
Oh.
done. So,
Yeah, maybe that was it.
but yeah,
Have you
he's
guys
so good to her.
spoken to?
Never,
Since then?
never ever met or even seen.
Time I go there,
Which is weird.
she'll just be like, hi, you know, and that's
I've
it.
always just
So,
seen him. That's
Have you seen her since this?
No. I haven't.
We haven't seen any of the family. I mean, I walked down there when I saw the CSI the next day because I was like, what the heck? Or that day, actually.
You kind of figured out after that we left and that happened. That was a little more than.
Yeah, this was when I saw
What?
CSI all of a
So we were
sudden.
all crying.
I
thinking something was wrong
instantly
with
go
me.
into CSI,
Yeah,
someone's
sure.
dead
Lost
mode,
or something.
or and never until the media even mentioned the Koenig case. I was just like,
Well, I know you asked me because you guys were clearly, when I came over that night, worried about. He stuck his head out and asked me specifically, and I said, she's fine. Hi, how are
Yeah.
you? You remember me, don't you? I've got a question, and it's okay if you answer because I know, like with my kids, we have special words that we may say if somebody's in danger or they need something, that if you don't know that special word, you can't get picked up. Somebody comes to you and says, hey, your mom and dad told me that I could pick you up and take you home. They have to know a special code word, right? Have you ever heard of that? Okay. Yeah, some people have that, and I'm wondering maybe if when you, since you guys are such good friends, if you guys have ever talked, if she's ever mentioned anything about maybe a special place or even a secret place that she may go to with her dad or some place that's not around here, if she's ever talked about going anywhere and having anything just that just might even seem odd or may not seem odd at all. Has she ever mentioned anything about that? Or any secrets or anything like that? And it's okay to tell adults because right now it's very
Tell 'em,
important.
try to
There's
help
things that- So even if you made a promise to her saying, I will never say a word about this, and it's always important to keep promises, but right now somebody could be in danger. So that's why it's really important for us to know. And it would be okay to tell us.
No, she's never.
Never said anything, mentioned anything.
The first time she told me something like that, she just told me that she had a door underneath her stairs.
She had a door underneath the stairs.
And that was, I never really noticed it, but it was actually really in plain sight.
Is it a hidden door that you don't notice?
Oh
It's
wow,
just
a
regular
door
Yeah,
underneath
it's
the
just a door on
stairs.
the wall.
Hidden.
Stairs.
Did you guys go in there?
We play in there sometimes with our flashlights.
Yeah, okay. and it kind of winds around. It's like fun to try and scare yourselves.
Kinda.
Okay, but nothing else whatsoever. Okay, it's really important that if you think about that at all, because we forget stuff all the time. Trust me, I forget stuff every day. But if you remember something like that, to let your mom or dad know so they can call us and let us know. Has she mentioned any time recently about maybe going someplace like the Kenai or the Wasilla or the Palmer, or said anything? Like when she came back from Texas the first time when we went to Mexico, I'm sure you guys were talking about the cruise and all the fun stuff she did and all the ice cream you could eat on the cruise, right? So did she mention anything when they came back about going anywhere while they were here before they left for the
They
wedding?
mentioned going to the wedding.
That's all, nothing else. Okay.
And the only time that she goes anywhere else besides vacations is when she goes to visit her mom.
Her mom, where's your mom live?
Washington.
Washington. Okay.
And she goes to Taekwondo, of course.
Oh yeah. Yeah, her.
Where does she take Taekwondo at?
It's somewhere close to this big hill that their house is. I've seen it before. She says she's gone to it. They take kids on like walks and stuff, and I've seen them doing the field
You
trips.
said a house, close to a house? What house?
No, it's I went with her dad and her once to when he was doing a job. He fixes stuff and makes it look better. And when we were driving back to my house, I saw the kids doing a field trip and they're like all holding hands, walking, and
That's the Taekwondo kids.
and she said she knew some of them, and it was just around this a hill with a house that he did. He just went down the hill, and you just keep going straight, and you could see Taekwondo place.
Okay. So it's just a house that he probably does.
But I think that her school takes her to it.
To Taekwondo?
Yeah, because he picks her up.
Okay.
But
So it could be Champs. I know Champs doesn't work.
It's
Actually, I think it is Chance. It
I
is.
think it is.
Champs picks them up. It's in the
Champs
van.
picks them
They'll
up at
actually
school,
come
yeah.
pick them
That's what I
up.
was wondering. I've seen those at
She
school.
tells us every time she goes higher in balance and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So.
Don't mess
Well,
with
thank you very much. I
Okay,
appreciate
is that all
You've had
done?
a wonderful memory. That's all we need.
it. You should go back to it.
Anybody have anything else that they want to add right now?
Is there anything you can tell us?
No.
Well, just that I
You
am.
have the number.
I'm
right?
actually, and I'm not
I
trying
do.
to sound
get that
like
too.
all other parents
Gotta
and everything, but I am really careful with my kids, and I'm
Yeah.
really good judge of character. I can see he's the one who introduced himself to us so that he could make sure that we're okay for to come and
So
see
he
it.
introduced
And
himself to them.
and I mean, he just is a really nice guy, and we just never saw any sign of any problems ever. And my kids are like, they'll tell us anything that's weird. I mean, they're
I could
even
tell,
if they're scared. Be
Very
like,
articulate.
yeah, she tries to be.
So.
She wants to know and to people to know what's going on. She's, she doesn't know a lot. She knows more than all the other little kids over there.
And there'll be things. There's going to be stuff forthcoming in the
In
press.
news.
But at this point, anything that we said, could jeopardize. This is still a very sensitive investigation. We still haven't found. We don't know the whereabouts of Samantha Coney. And so at this point, releasing any information could harm the chances of finding her. So.
In other words, you want us to shut up.
Well, I mean, that's why we're not going to tell you. I mean,
Politely,
we're not going to tell you anything more than what the press has had out there.
Right.
And
And that's why, we have this phone call list that we
Exactly.
have to come ask questions.
My biggest
Which are
question
completely
is,
legitimate.
and our number one concern is obviously, and my only question is, throughout this whole thing, I'm sure family down in Texas.
I went to Texas. I talked with.
My only other question is she going to her mom's in Washington or staying in Texas?
That'll be something that the child services in Texas will sort out.
And so will she be able to call or anything? I mean, we don't know if she has one of those Alaska numbers that can only work in Alaska.
I don't think anybody's going to stop her. I
Right.
mean,
Well,
we're not if she wants to call
Here's what
her
I
friends.
suspect is going to happen soon. Israel's not in a position to pay his phone bill. So any phone that she does or did have is not going to be working
Right.
for very much longer.
So yeah.
So yeah,
We just don't
and then
have
and then
any
it'll be
vote for
whoever's
it all,
custody that is up in to decide whether she gets a phone call or I can tell you that when I talked with her, she seems to be in good. She's happy where she's at. She's having
one of
fun
those
at
types
this
of
point.
kids that
So
just sort of,
Well, punches.
Yeah.
yeah, she just,
You know, if something happens that she doesn't want to happen, she's like, oh, well, I'll just make the best of it usually. So.
But is there like, I mean, if she was able to get a hold of us, would somebody be able to give her like our
has she
numbers?
called
Or that she
before?
knows?
Or I mean, she has phone numbers for somebody here. Does your daughter
She
have?
had my phone number in her phone, but I don't know if it like turned off if she wouldn't be able to call it or anything.
Well, she could access your phone number from her phone. She just couldn't call. So
Right.
if her
And I don't-
grandmother down there,
Yeah, and I don't know
called,
whether
she said,
they're letting her.
They
make
probably
phone.
wouldn't want her
because
to
of
right
what's
now,
going on.
yeah.
They may.
yeah, they may be.
And they don't know what's really
Right.
going on and who's involved and what. So they may
Yeah.
be trying to shelter her somewhat.
Yeah, I
also.
can understand that.
If
But hopefully
she
she'll
was
be
here,
able to
we'd
get.
be protecting her.
Hopefully
Yeah.
someday
Somebody
she'll
else.
be able to get back in touch with. Like I said, I mean they spent like 2 years together,
Yeah.
always. And when she went to her mom's in all the other vacations, it was always a sad time for.
Yeah, she didn't really.
So is there anything you need out of us?
She's the only kid
It's
we like around.
this is 11:02 by my watch. I'm gonna go out and see.
If there is something.
So I think he was, in my opinion, grooming the babysitter. There were places in that house. Oh my God, an underground door. What the heck? Right? And they went in there and played sometimes. But also I was seeing and reading on this research, the babysitter, sometimes he would step between her and some of these doors. He did not want them in, which was kind of crazy. I guess that's where he kept his kill tools and stuff like that. He didn't want nothing messed with. But to them, to the girl's mom, to the babysitter, and the girl's mom said she was a very good judge of character. Well, not in this case, honey. So we all have to be alert. We definitely all have to be alert, especially when it comes to our kids. My God, this was the most evil serial killer ever, and nobody suspected it. To them, to the mom, to the teacher, to the babysitter, he was just an everyday parent. But they said he introduced himself to them. You know, it takes a lot for a man to do that, I think. They had no idea who Israel Keys really was. And the mom, everyone just thought she was the bio mom. And of course, she didn't have anything to do with nothing. People can hide stuff right up under your nose, even in the same house. And that's sad. His girlfriend was questioned. His daughter was placed with protective family members. And the biological mother was not the primary caregiver. Y'all need to know that again. FBI made sure the daughter was kept away from the media, and his girlfriend was shocked, devastated, and blindsided. I would be too, y'all. I definitely would be. His girlfriend had no idea she was living with a serial killer. And she never knew that. She never picked up on that. And she did not know what he was doing. My God, you heard the teacher say he would leave notes saying we're going on a cruise, or we're going to a wedding, or we're going here. Told the babysitter the same thing. They were going to weddings. Odd. She, the girlfriend, the one that raised his little girl, his daughter, as she was little. She had no clue. So again, I just want to be clear because I found out that information. That is not the bio mom. The bio mom has never, ever gave an interview contrary to what anybody has said. Hell, I'm beginning to wonder if she's even alive, to be honest with you. Israel Keys did not live with his daughter's biological mother, and she wasn't in the picture. He had custody, and she lived with him in Alaska. And the bio mom was not raising the child. She wasn't living in that home at all. He had full custody. It takes a lot for a father to get full custody, to be honest with you. I couldn't imagine either, Raymond. I really couldn't. But he had full physical custody of his daughter, and this longtime girlfriend was a nurse. That's who you'll hear about if it's ever referred to as her mom. She was like a mom. And most people think it is her mom, but she wasn't. She was Key's longtime girlfriend. And he had been living with her for years and years. Now, his girlfriend wasn't just something off the chain, off the rocker, just for a minute or two. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. She was long term. She lived with him. She raised that child of his that she called her own from the time she was very young. She worked in healthcare as a nurse. You know, that's the type of job she had. She did everything, like drop the child off to the schools. You know, she met with the teachers also. She helped arrange these babysitters. She did everything a day-to-day parent would do, along with Israel Keys. And nothing was out of the ordinary to anyone. You know, she was the one that the babysitter knew. She was the one the teacher saw. And here's the shocking part, y'all. This woman had no idea she was living with a serial killer. She had no clue. She had no clue she was sleeping with the enemy. She was laying down with him every night, looking him in the face. The biological mom, she is totally out of the picture, and she is not the primary caregiver. Law enforcement protected her identity because of this child. She was absolutely not living with them. She was absolutely not raising this child. So the family that everyone knew and saw was the dad, the girlfriend, and the little girl. That's who the teacher saw. That's who the babysitter saw. It looked like a normal family on the outside looking in. And that's what made it very chilling afterwards. After the arrest, the girlfriend was interrogated and she was devastated. She was completely blindsided. And his daughter, she went immediately into safe protective custody with a family member immediately. You know, this is wild. When Israel was arrested, March 2012, his girlfriend, the woman that had been living with him, raising his daughter, she had no idea what was going on. She thought he was a quiet, private, hardworking person who traveled a lot. She loved him. Hey, Donna, and everybody coming in. Because that's what he presented himself as. He was living a double life. She thought he was a good father. She trusted him. She didn't have any reason not to. And then suddenly, boom, 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 all the federal agents, the feds, FBI, they come knocking on her door. Whew, I can't imagine. She finds out the truth the same way the rest of the world did from law enforcement. She was absolutely shocked. She was completely devastated. She told the investigators that she never saw any signs, none whatsoever. He showed no signs of violence. He showed no strange behavior. And look, she would have to observe this. She was a nurse, right? She could have picked up on it. But he was totally living a double life. She didn't pick up on any of it. And, you know, she didn't know what the heck to think. She was in pure disbelief. And I don't blame her. That the man she loved, the man she laid down with every single night, that she built a home with, that she had been taking care of his child, that she had been with for years, that she would have married, was going to marry, had every intention of marrying, was living this double life. His daughter, that's the one that breaks my heart. After he was arrested, his daughter was removed from home immediately, the home she knew. She was placed with a protective, safe family member or members. Ellie shielded her identity. They kept her away from the media for her safety. She did not go to the biological mother. Let's be clear. She did not go back to her biological mother. I don't even know where her bio is. She could be dead for all I know. I don't know. Hey, lady. Welcome in. Happy Thanksgiving, honey. But it's so important to know she was not placed back with her biological mom. You know, her bio mom was also shielded the name and stuff because they wanted to shield the identity of this little girl. She was just a little girl, y'all. Just a little girl. She was a little girl 1 minute, and she had sugar plums dancing all in her head. She had hopes and dreams and doing all the little things. The next, her world was crushed. The little girl's dad was took away. The man she admired and loved that allegedly never hurt her or anything. Her home, what she considered as her mom. The girlfriend, the longtime lady that took care of her, and thank her for taking such good care of her. She was just a little girl suddenly in a world of turmoil. And when Israel took his own life in December of 2012, the coward's way out, he left a stupid, blood-stained, drawn letter. You know, he didn't leave instructions. He didn't apologize. He didn't try to explain anything to anyone or anything to his child. Nothing. Nothing. Not the one he claimed he loved. His daughter had to grow up knowing her father was a serial killer, and that's something she'll carry with her forever. But thankfully, she's been kept safe, quiet, leading a quiet life, and cared for by family members who protected her and her innocence. Law enforcement made sure of that and thanked them for that, because normally that's not something they normally do. So that perfect little family picture he created, it was just a mask, and his mask fell off. It was a performance. It was a cover-up. He effed up when he messed with Samantha. He didn't have a certain MO. He didn't care if it was young. He didn't care if it was old. He didn't care if it was couples. He didn't care what their race or color, anything was. He didn't care about none of that. He didn't care what weapons he used. He would change up, he said himself, whatever he felt like, whenever he felt like. But he effed up when he decided to break all the things with Samantha. And thank God he did. Thank God he was stopped. But the people who loved him, his girlfriend, his daughter, they were blindsided, and they were blindsided like the rest of the world. They're never going to be the same. The babysitter. God, are you kidding me? The babysitter gave investigators one of the most revealing interviews, I think. And it's weird. He would be sending her messages in the middle of the night and all kinds of things. The world stopped for all of them. The babysitter said he was very polite, but you never knew what he was thinking. I told you, these are the ones you have to worry about. He seemed unusually calm. Nothing rattled him. Nothing. They'd say if the little girl cried, his daughter, his little girl, or she made a mess or anything, he never got upset. He stayed calm. But not a normal calm, looking back. Kind of like a cold calm. She told investigators it felt like a mask. He didn't like surprises. She said he hated when plans changed. He needed a schedule. He needed routine. He needed structure. If she arrived 5 minutes early, he noticed. If she was 5 minutes late, he noticed. He watched the clock. He kept certain rooms off limit. There were places she just could not go or were not allowed to go. I can't imagine being a teen. I'd have been nosy and tried to go anyway. I'm just saying. There's times he would have stepped between her and hallways or, certainly certain doors and quietly, just quietly though, redirect her somewhere else. She didn't understand at the time, but now it's very clear. Those were the rooms that was tied to his crimes. It could have been gears. It could have been planning. Remember, he kept the rope. He kept the tools. He kept everything packed neatly. He was in the military. He was a neat person. He had rope, tools, and he had equipment and bags. He would make these kill kits, spread them all over the world, and then go back later when he decided he wanted to do something there. It looked like somebody that was a camper or something like that. Sometimes he'd disappear for days, though, and he would have these vague explanations. He was working or he was out of town or they were on a trip. The weddings. Oh, my God, the weddings. Sometimes he felt like two different people, but they didn't notice at the time. It was very chilling. It was like he had two whole separate lives. And he actually did, if you think about it. Yeah, Cash. His daughter loved him, though. And he, by all accounts, loved her and tried to protect her, which was wild. He's a psychopath. I know I can't compare some things because I'm not a psychopath. He was. But let me tell y'all something. When I hear that this babysitter said what she said, it gives me chills. It does. This wasn't no quiet man. He was quiet, but he wasn't just a quiet man. He was a thinker. He planned. He premeditated, in my opinion. But he was also very controlling. He controlled every detail, and y'all saw it with the police interrogations. He controlled everything, even any short. He would just answer with short answers if he was asked something, or his emotion, he would try to hide it. Everything had to be packed in this sardine can perfectly. Every room locked down. Look, this babysitter, she didn't know she was standing in front of a serial killer. She had no idea. She had no idea she was texting to one either. He, to her, was just calm. The calmness, y'all, was control. That clock watching he did, that wasn't routine. That was precision. Any of those off-limit rooms, that wasn't boundaries. That was secrets. Secrets. He didn't want his dark secrets getting out. This babysitter was looking right at the real Israel Keyes, right in his eyes, and so was that teacher. Not the father, not the boyfriend of the nurse, but the performer. He had that mask on. He had the mask on for his girlfriend. He had the mask on for his teacher. He had the mask on for the babysitter. And in my opinion, he even had that mask on for his own child. And that's what makes him so terrifying. Because evil isn't always loud, y'all. It's not. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's polite. Sometimes it's calm. And it hides in plain sight. Everything this babysitter said, it helped investigators. Everything the teacher said, it helped investigators. Israel Keyes, he didn't just slip up. He got sloppy. He didn't lose control. He chose the wrong one. He chose Samantha Coyne. That's what got him caught. When investigators brought Keyes, his longtime girlfriend, in, the woman that lived with him for years and years and helped raise his daughter, she was shattered. What they did was, because she was in complete shock, when the officers first told her why they needed to speak with her, she didn't believe them at first. She kept saying things like, no, this is not real. This has to be a mistake. She honestly thought they had the wrong person. They say this woman had a full breakdown, and I understand. You would have had to put me in the nut house. She was confused. Nothing matched the man she knew, the man she loved, the man she lived with. By all accounts, Israel Keyes was a good father. He traveled to and from work. He was quiet. By all accounts, he was stable, even though he was a psychopath. He really wasn't. But to them, he was. He stuck with a routine. He never showed any violence. He never raised his voice. He never acted threatening in any way. So she said she never saw anything, not even a hint of this monster that was inside of him. That in itself, y'all, is scary. Again, none of this is her fault, was ever her fault. This woman was victimized as well. she's a victim as well, the way I see it. It was horrible. She denied he could hurt anyone, but not to protect him. That was her first instinct, which it would be mine, and I'm sure it would be y'all's. Her first instinct was to defend him. What do you mean? She was just trying to make sense of it all. She said stuff to the investigators like, he wouldn't do that. He's so calm. He's very calm. He didn't have a temper. I never saw anything out of the ordinary with a temper. He loved his daughter. The investigators, they knew. They knew this was a normal reaction to her trauma, that she couldn't believe it. She wasn't lying. She truly didn't believe this man she loved, she laid down with, sleeping with the enemy she didn't know was the enemy, was capable of murder, much less all these other things. She was in shock, devastated, and heartbroken. She thought, how could this be? You know, I fell for all this. How could it be? Still, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I would still think she's messed up to this day. I would still think she's broke to this day. And I would still think that it damaged her, and it's going to damage her the rest of her life going forward with anything she does in life. I think this man and what he did ruined her. When they showed her evidence, she broke down. The police shifted and showed her the evidence. They showed her his travel records. They showed her his financial statements, the timeline, what the timeline matched, what he did to Samantha. Oh my God. Can you imagine letting her know Samantha was in their shed out there, or garage or whatever, while they lay sleeping? They showed her all of this. The photos they showed her from the debit cards, the withdrawals from Samantha's things. She couldn't even speak, y'all. She started crying. She covered her face. I don't know, man. My knees would have buckled too. That was the moment she realized she'd been living with a serial killer. All the proof was there. But she worried immediately. You know what she did? She worried immediately about what she called her daughter. That was her first major concern, was the child, her child, the one she raised. To her, that was her daughter. Was my daughter ever in danger? Did he ever do something to her? Did he ever do something to her while I was home? You know, she wanted all these answers. Did he take her with him to any of these places? Did she ever see anything? But the investigators, they assured her that there was no evidence Keyes harmed his daughter. Thank God for that. He compartmentalized his life so good, so tight. Nobody knew who he was. He kept his crimes far away from home, except when he screwed up and took Samantha there. But the girlfriend, she was still devastated. It didn't stop that. She was still in disbelief, in shock that her daughter and her even lived under the same roof with him. She loved that little girl. She raised that little girl. She was all accounts that little girl's mom by everything. Now she's here knowing her and that little girl was under the roof with this evil monster. And she's very scared. She blamed herself, even though she had no idea, and this was not her fault. This will never be her fault. She kept saying to them, how did I not see it? That's what I'd want to know. How could he hide this? I mean, after all, he acted so normal. How could I live with him and lay down with him, eat with him, go on trips with him, and never know this? She felt embarrassment. She felt guilt. She felt shame, even though she was never part of anything he ever did. She was a victim too, and that's important to know. Investigators say she was very cooperative and she was traumatized, and rightfully so. After the real shock settled in, she fully cooperated. She let them search. She let them search the house, the shed, his belongings, his electronics, all the devices. She answered any and everything that was ever asked of her. She never hid anything. She never tried after that moment to protect him. She was traumatized in a way that stuck with her. And again, I say to this day, it's still sticking with her. But of course, she never saw him again. She never gave him a visit in jail. She did not bring her daughter there. She did not attempt to reconcile. She didn't talk to him. When she realized what he had done and what it was, that was it. Right then and there, it was done. She separated her entire life and her child, what she considered to be her child, from Israel Keyes completely and totally. After he took his life and after his death, she stayed hidden. She changed her entire life, and she protected that child. Y'all just imagine loving someone for years and years, raising a child together, thinking you know who they are, what they are, and then the FBI walks right into your life and tells you that the man you're sleeping with is a serial killer. That's what happened to her. She didn't see the signs were there because he kept everything hidden. He kept those two lives separated, even from her, even the woman he shared a home with. She never saw this monster inside of him. And when investigators showed her the truth, she broke. Not because she loved him, but because she realized her baby girl had been also living right under the same roof with this pure evil. She was blindsided, she was betrayed, and she was traumatized. She became another victim of Israel Keyes. Not violence victim, but definitely deception. She walked away from him forever. Forever. Investigators actually told his girlfriend when they set her down in that little interview room, because they didn't sugarcoat it. They told her everything that happened. Everything. They needed the truth out, and she needed to hear it. They told her, he's not who you think he is. That was one of their first opening things they told her. They wanted her to understand immediately that this wasn't a understanding, nice, sweet guy, and that it was not a mix-up in the arrest. He was real. He was evil. And this was just life-shattering to her. They told her that they had proof he kidnapped Samantha. Law enforcement laid out everything directly with her, the photos, the truck, or the whatever he was caught in, the ATM withdrawals, him using her bank accounts. He left Alaska right after the abduction of Samantha. He had Samantha's credit cards in his possession. They had video of him of using all that in Texas. She just went still and silent and numb, like the air was knocked out of her. They explained that his trips, those little work trips and those quick little getaways that he took, they were not for work. They were calculated, they were planned, and they were deliberate. He flew out of state to kill people, to complete strangers take their lives. Then he flew home like nothing had happened. She started crying when she heard that. She told the FBI, I trusted him. I trusted him with everything. Every time he left, I trusted him. Well, now that her trust was broken, not only in him, but I feel in this whole, with the entire situation. How will she ever get over this? I don't know. He screwed her life up too. How will she ever trust again anybody? Anybody. And that's the sad part. That's the sad part. He ruined so many lives, even ones he didn't intend to. They warned her and told her about these kill kits buried across the country. They showed her and they told her he buried weapons, he buried cash, he buried supplies and restraints, and he buried evidence. He did that in many states. At that time, she covered her mouth, held her head. She just didn't know what to do or say. They told her he studied law enforcement. He watched everything they did. He would learn about law enforcement. He learned how to avoid detection. They told her he followed the investigative rules. They told her he monitored the police procedures. They told her he cleaned up after himself. He researched on how not to get caught. They told her all this stuff while standing in her darn kitchen, y'all, and while asking, was her daughter at school? Can you imagine? They told her there were other victims besides Samantha. I'm sure at that point, she just probably lost it at that point. I'm sure she wasn't hearing and comprehending all of these things. The investigators, they didn't tell her everything, but they told her enough. They told her that they believed there were more victims and that Keith had been doing this for many, many years. At that point, she asked them, was he doing this when we lived together? Did he ever come home after? Was my daughter ever in danger? Those things. They had to reassure her to the best of their knowledge and the best that they could. No evidence that he had harmed his daughter ever. There's no evidence. There's no sign that his daughter ever witnessed anything, thank God. But it doesn't matter. His daughter is screwed up for life. So is his longtime girlfriend. So is everybody in the situation. These victims, families. Some of these victims were never found. You know. So I'm going to end it on this. We'll go back later and we'll listen to her interview, because she did give an interview and it's out there. But again, don't get it confused. It's not the real mom, but in all accounts, she was that little girl's real mother. And I give her all credit in the world. Thank you all for being here. Y'all go enjoy the rest of your cooking. I got to go check on my turkey too. Lord, that'd be like me to burn the turkey. I'd be like something on General Hospital, burn the turkey and have to call pizza. Just saying. But I love you all. I thank you for being here. Thank you, mods. Everybody, if you will, hit that thumbs up on your way out. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Make sure you're subscribed if you're already subscribed. They do a sweep around this time of November, December. And if you're inactive, they unsubscribe you automatically. So make sure everybody's subscribed so you get all the notifications. Make sure your little bells ring, and I'll be back on here soon. Thank you. Y'all have a great day. Love you. Thank you. Bye.